What does the future hold for humanity? What events will change the world? When will the world end? The answers to all these questions can be found in the Bible. This was the belief of many, including the Israeli mathematician Eliyahu Rips. At the end of the last century, he claimed to have cracked the so-called Bible code and found confirmation for the theory of hidden prophecies within the sacred texts. Take any other book, absolutely any. It's just text. It's a book you read, which can be understood one way or another. But the Bible is a sacred text. It is considered sacred because it is seen as a source of higher knowledge. And it's not surprising that some people search the Bible for some kind of hidden information about the future. Many scholars have tried to decipher the Bible and find predictions about humanity's destiny within it. One of the most famous was Isaac Newton. The father of classical physics and mathematical analysis claimed that Holy Scripture is a cryptogram created by the Almighty. Newton, a brilliant physicist and scholar, the creator of theoretical mechanics, engaged in a rather deep study of sacred texts. He was a religious and devout man. But Newton approached the study of the Bible from a scientific point of view. He conducted linguistic analysis of the sacred texts and performed various mathematical calculations. He wrote down his thoughts and calculations on scraps of paper. The notes of the eminent physicist began to be studied by the American historian Stephen Snowblen. And in Newton's papers, he found information that shocked him. According to Professor Stephen Snowblen, to understand these religious and predictive works of Newton, one must, at a minimum, know all the Gospels by heart. And even better, someone who has read the entire Bible and is well-versed in theology and the history of ancient Palestine and the ancient world. Newton studied the 7th chapter of the book of the prophet Daniel with particular care. It is part of the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament. There, the physicist, according to Snowblen, found the date for the end of the world. Newton compared several biblical sources and came to a conclusion: the complete destruction of the world would take 1,260 years. And here the question arises: from what point should the countdown begin? Isaac Newton calculated that it was from the birth of the Holy Roman Empire. To be more precise, the year 800, when Charlemagne received his crown. If you add these two numbers, you get precisely the year 2060 for the end of the world. In that year, as Newton believed, some global catastrophe was to occur. But in the physicist's opinion, not everyone would perish. The survivors would build a new, happy, and just world on the ruins of the old one. Curiously, the distinguished scholar never published these predictions based on biblical texts anywhere, nor did he tell anyone about them. Israeli mathematician Eliyahu Rips, on the contrary, shared his research on biblical texts with the entire world. He developed a special algorithm that supposedly allows one to see prophetic words in the Torah. To begin, Rips converted the sacred book of the Jews into a digital format. Then he removed the spaces and punctuation marks between the words. According to Rips, he effectively restored the Torah to the form in which Moses wrote it down from the words of God. Such a legend does exist, but in reality, no one knows for sure what the Torah originally looked like at the moment of its creation. Eliyahu Rips loaded the continuous Hebrew text into a special computer program. He entered key phrases, and the machine began to search for matches in the Torah. This was somewhat reminiscent of a word search puzzle, where one must find as many words as possible in a grid of randomly scattered letters. However, the algorithm highlighted letters in a specifically defined sequence. For example, every 5th letter or 10th letter, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. The highlighted characters formed phrases Rips was looking for. The program then analyzed the surrounding text and found expressions with similar meanings. These random combinations of words often coincided with real names, events, and people. For example, Rips found the names of Jewish sages who lived many centuries after the Torah was created. It was impossible to believe. Could it be that the Bible truly contained hidden predictions and that Rips had found the key to reading them? The Israeli mathematician's work caught the interest of American journalist Michael Drostin. He used the Bible code algorithm and found even more strange coincidences with real events in the sacred texts. At the reporter's request, the computer highlighted the phrases World War II, Holocaust, and the assassination of Kennedy. Most interestingly, Drosnin discovered a prediction that had yet to come true. It concerned the Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Michael Drosnin's code found a name Yitzhak Rabin in the text of the Torah. He also found there a Hebrew word that can be interpreted as both murder and murderer. With his own liberal interpretation, Michael Drosnin formed the phrase, Yitzhak Rabin will be assassinated. And so it happened. In November 1995, a year after Drosnin found this phrase in the Torah, Yitzhak Rabin was shot and killed by an ultra-right-wing activist. However, according to historians, the assassination of the politician could have been predicted even without the Bible code. Given the complexity of the Arab-Israeli conflict, and the fact that both Orthodox Jews and, indeed, Arabs were opposed to Yitzhak Rabin, his tragic end was quite predictable. There is nothing mystical about the other supposedly prophetic phrases found in the sacred texts. Scholars claim that using Eliyahu Rips' method, similar predictions can be found in practically any book. The more letters it contains, the higher the probability of finding the desired words. This was proven by Australian mathematician Brendan Mackay. He tested the Bible code algorithm on Herman Melville's novel, Moby Dick. The computer program found the names of many famous figures next to the word assassination, including Abraham Lincoln, Indira Gandhi, and John F. Kennedy. It even found a prophecy about the death of Princess Diana in a car crash. In other words, regardless of a book's content, the Bible code method can be used to find almost any desired word within it. Engineers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found another way to look into the future. In the 1970s, they developed a computer program called World 1. It calculated the approximate date of our civilization's demise. The computer was loaded with data on human development since the beginning of the 20th century. How the Earth's population and the quality of life in different countries had changed, how much natural resources people consumed, and how severely they had polluted the environment. Based on this data, the program constructed graphs and forecasted what to expect in the coming decades. If you look closely at these curves, you can see that it predicted that by the 1980s, the population would increase and the quality of life would improve, which is exactly what happened. And if you look further ahead, nothing good awaits humanity. In the 2020s, the quality of human life will begin to decline noticeably. Industrial capacity will fail to keep up with the growing needs of humanity. For this reason, and due to catastrophic environmental pollution, the human population will decline significantly by the year 2040. By the middle of the century, our civilization may cease to exist altogether. Such was the bleak future modeled by the computer program.